guys seen this thing about the dire wolves? How they reconstructed them in a lab by modifying the genes of a gray wolf?
The howl of a dire wolf hasn't been heard on planet Earth for more than 10,000 years. Colossal Biosciences is a Dallas-based company that's using genetic engineering to de-extinct long-gone species.
If we could do something that could bring back the dire wolf, also help wolf conservation and bring people from like sci-fi, fantasy, and kids more into science and into the conversation around conservation, we thought it was a cool idea, but we had no idea if we could pull it off.
Is this done by AI?
It's done by AI and software, yeah.
My question, if I was going to grill you, if I was a reporter, it'd be like, what right do you have to invade the natural process of nature and to inject your curiosity and your ability to create new life?
I think that we've become the apex predator on this planet.
When I told my wife about it, she was like, what is this, Jurassic World or something? Have we not learned our lessons from watching these movies? And then she got to thinking about it. She's like, you know, I kind of feel like everything that comes out of Hollywood is just preconditioning us for our future. Like, this is what our future looks like. Weird science experiments that we want to put back into our ecosystem that have been extinct for 10,000 years for a reason.
Here, when you're playing with nature, nature usually wins. Nature is much more complicated than the ability of our brains to understand it.
And now they want to put woolly mammoths back on the land by 2026 or 2028.
An American company says it has genetically engineered mice so that they have developed some traits like mammoths.
They hope to de-extinct the woolly mammoth as early as 2028.
I just don't understand why we as human beings feel like we should be playing God like this. It is seriously messed up that we're going in, modifying genes and trying to bring things back from extinction that shouldn't be here anymore. You know, I was working on our documentary, Native, the Prodigies of an Icon, and one of the things that they were talking about was how the bison has been able to adapt to the environment over the years. I mean, the gray wolf, isn't that just an adaptation of, the dire wolf in the first place? Nature modified these animals, changed them for a reason, and then our smart elites have decided we want to invest a ton of money into bringing these animals back and putting them on the land in areas where people are, so that they'll have to go live in our future cities. We'll create a Jurassic World all around them. It's nuts. It's totally nuts. And it's an abomination. We are not the creators. Believe it or not, guys, Stanford University is actually proposing that we grow bodyoids. Bodyoids are basically spare bodies that they would, create in fake wombs so that we'd have basically our own set of spare parts. Weird. I always thought it was weird that we took parts out of other people's bodies and put them into ours. My wife was like, what's up with all these zombie movies now? Are we going to start seeing human zombies soon? We already are seeing human zombies. We're changing their body parts. We're brainwashing them. Have you seen our kids today? Complete zombies. They're not even human anymore. And don't even get me started on Soylent Green. Everybody's like, do you think we'll be living in Soylent Green someday? Do you think we'll be eating weird lab-grown stuff, leftover human parts, whatever we all know what Soylent Green's about, right? We are already living in the Soylent Green era. It's just getting worse by the minute. My son asked me the other day, he was like, doesn't marshmallow come from marshmallow plants? I was like, well, yeah, it comes from marshmallow plants. He's like, so can't we eat it? It's healthy, right? I said, Mommy's marshmallows are healthy. The stuff in the store is not healthy. He was like, why not? I was like, because the stuff in the store comes from lab-grown crap. It doesn't even have marshmallow in it. We just call it marshmallow. The kid was so confused, he didn't know what to think about it. But then there's rennet. I keep hearing all these people talk about how you can't eat cheese because it's made from rennet. Rennet is made in a lab by Pfizer, people. And what cracks me up is it's the same people who are freaking out about rennet who are pushing this Impossible Burger, Beyond Burger stuff, which is also grown in a lab. We have fake lab meat, folks. Nothing is normal anymore. You don't eat normal. You don't eat healthy. And what's crazy is they fill you up with this junk, right? They fill you up with this junk that's killing you, making you sick, and then they make bucos money
off of making you ill. Think about the ones who are creating the fake rennet, Pfizer. They don't get rich off of fake rennet, they get rich off of you in a hospital. The elites always tell us what's gonna happen before it happens. And then when you buy into it, they can call you a conspiracy theorist, just like those crazy people who thought JFK was not assassinated by a lone shooter because he was shot from 2 different directions. Unless the shooter could teleport, it's not really possible. How about all those UFO movies, stuff like Stargate? You know, they just found mummies thousands of years old that are completely unrelated to humans. I'm telling you, they know more than they're telling us. They're reverse engineering all that stuff, and they're just going to make our lives miserable one day. Either that, or maybe they just don't think we can handle the truth. But then they don't keep it from us, because then they put it in movies, and then the movies always end up coming true, like Jurassic Park and reconstructing genetics to create prehistoric animals that God wiped off the face of the earth in the first place for a reason. Vampires? There's another one, vampires. There are already elites who take the blood of our children, well, not my children, but children, and put it in their bodies because it's supposed to make them live longer or something weird like that.
Injecting yourself with your son's blood, right?
That's right.
Okay. Why'd you do that?
Humans have generated a lot of science over the past couple decades. And we said, let's take all the science, let's rank them according to power laws of the best science ever done. Let's grade the evidence, then we'll see what we can apply from those into my body. And plasma infusions were one that was interesting. And so I was looking at it myself. And one day I was talking to my dad and he said, I need to tell you, I had this really scary situation where he's in the legal profession. He said, I wrote a brief. I walked away. I came back and I saw that my words were a jumbled mess. I was experiencing cognitive lapse and I wasn't aware of it. He's 71. He said, I'm terrified of losing my mind.
Yes.
And I said, Dad, how interesting that you bring this up, because right now the team and I are talking about plasma infusions and that some of the studies are looking at the effects on Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and other kinds of things like that. And so I said, if you're interested, I'm happy to give you a liter of my plasma. And then my 17-year-old son was there and he's like, hey, if you guys are doing it, I'm in. Right, great, we'll make this a family affair. And so my son...
Sharing the plasma.
Yeah, so my son gave me a liter of plasma, I gave my dad a liter of plasma, and the data showed that in me, there was no effect, that my biomarkers didn't change. But in my dad, his speed of aging reduced by 25 years. So he was aging at the rate of a 71-year-old. And after the plasma infusion and continued for 6 months, it lessened to a 45-year-old. So his clock dramatically slowed down.
Interesting. Did he feel better?
He did. And his colleagues were saying, what's up? This is, you're hot, you're on fire. What's happening?
And it was plasma from his son.
It's the only therapy that he did.
Does it need to be a blood relative?
No, it just blood typed.
Okay, so now we're getting into the theories about taking the blood of children.
I mean, so this is very common. We do organ transplants. We all donate blood. Like, we've had that experience in our life. So it's just in a slightly different frame, but it's very much a part of...
Well, it's a recognizable frame. And by the way, I'm not endorsing any of this. But there is a frame, to use your word, on the internet of like super rich tech billionaires living forever on the blood of children.
Yeah.
Not a super appealing frame, I would say.
Yeah.
This is that.
Yeah, and we did it openly. We made a video out of it. We made fun of it. We made a meme out of it. So yeah, this is how we've done the entire project. Is everything's open sourced. It's always discussed. We share all the data. But yes, it definitely feeds into many of the there's a lot of theories about what happens behind the scenes with rich people.
Yeah, and not all of them seem baseless, I guess.
Well, that's what a lot of people said. Is like, we finally got a glimpse. So you're showing us what's happening.
Kind of. Yeah, like the tech oligarch taking the blood of children. Yeah, I'm just...
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe these dire wolves are the answer to those vampire elites. Maybe they'll get rid of them for us. Anyway, guys, for those of you who are wondering what a farmer thinks about on their 30-minute drive to get food for their pigs and fencing supplies, oh man, I forgot my list. I hope I don't forget anything. That's what we think about. I've always said, if you ever want to get back in touch with reality, talk to a farmer. They deal with real stuff every day.